What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the Living in Grand Junction, Colorado channel. I'm Robert Hayes with the #1 relocation team here in Grand Junction, along with my wife Christie and the rest of their crew, of course. Today, we got a treat for you. Selena Sanchez, the all-knowing person to talk to about everything about the economy here in Grand Junction. She is the Director of Marketing and Communications with the Grand Junction Economic Partnership, if I can talk. So, thanks so much for coming out, Selena. I really appreciate it.
Me, Robert.
I did this background on purpose as kind of a little tease so everyone can see the gorgeous surroundings. But you know, after they pick their jaw up off the floor, they're wanting to get down to the nitty-gritty, right? There's not everyone that we talk to, they're not retirees, they're young families. As you know, we have a good mix of about 30% retirees, 30% young families, 30% young entrepreneurs. They want to know what's going on with the economy. So maybe just a 50,000 foot view to start about what's going on with the economy here in Grand Junction.
Yeah, so we have a really strong and resilient economy here in Grand Junction. We have a labor force of over 77,000. And then right now our unemployment rate is at about 3.6.
Okay, that's a good number.
Yeah, so good number. We're pretty consistent with the state of Colorado and usually lag a little bit behind the state of Colorado. And then as far as key industries go, healthcare is a really big one here. Manufacturing, some technology and entrepreneurship is becoming more available. Construction, education, professional technical trades.
Isn't aerospace still up in there for we got the Westar Aviation? Okay, very cool.
Yeah, so aerospace is one that we're seeing really start to pick up interest. We have Westar Aviation, and then we also have a few smaller aerospace manufacturing firms here and then consulting firms. So that's something that we're starting to see really gain traction in Grand Junction, and I think a lot of that is because of our strategic location. So we're right off of I-70, so whether you're a manufacturer for aerospace or something else that's very technical, your markets, if you need to reach the West Coast, we're really accessible to that side of the United States.
Good point. That's really good. I mean, people often ask us, hey, like I said, we're not retired yet, but we've done some, we went on the Google machine and we look at, wages in Denver, although we don't want to be in Denver. We want to be here instead with these gorgeous surroundings. But, maybe it's like a buck or two per hour more in a bigger city. But I've found the data that I'm looking at, that gap is closing a little bit, is it not?
Yeah, it is closing. And right now the average annual wage, and that's just taking kind of everything into consideration, is a little over 55,000 per person. But something that is really important to point out when we're comparing like Grand Junction and Denver and other Front Range communities is the cost of living.
Yes.
So the cost of housing is significantly more affordable here. We have a lot more workforce housing that's becoming available. And then looking at the cost of living index, when I pulled it yesterday, Denver was at 127.8 and Grand Junction was at 96.
Don't mind me, I'm just shooing a bee away.
Mamma mia, that's a lot of pages.
So that's a big gap between that cost of living right there.
It's huge. I mean, let's say, okay, you get 57 grand in Denver, but your house is 775 versus 410, so it's a big difference. Heating cost, water, utilities, it's all less. So I looked at some data for the median house price, June. The numbers are a little bit lagged. It was 410 June of 2023. It was the exact same number June of 2022, which I wasn't surprised. I told you guys our real estate is certainly very stable. Austin's down 10% year over year. As far as the economy and real estate, what can you speak to about that? I mean, obviously we got tourism. It's a great, retirement community, but those real estate prices are pretty dang stable.
Yeah, they do seem to be staying pretty stable, and we're starting to see a little bit more with new construction, a little bit more with housing developments and things that are going to be more for that affordable workforce area. So there is a good continuum between, if you're looking for something that is a little bit on the higher end versus if you're just a family getting started here.
Right. No, we definitely found that out too. Couple of questions. I'm going to read my notes, guys. I can't remember everything. So we talked about the wage gap. So as far as growth rate, I think I talked to your predecessor about 2 years ago, and it was, when I moved here in 2007, it was 58,000 people, and it was 10,000 from 07 to 2023, 10,000 added. So now we're at 68. People are like, wow, 10,000 people in like almost 20 years. But is that growth rate still like a percent and a half annually, something along those lines?
Yeah, it's been sticking right about that percent and a half annually. And it is growing consistently, and that is something that is good to see. I know a lot of times you'll hear, you know, seems like population might be growing a little bit too quickly.
The locals say that.
Yeah, the locals do say that.
I waited 6 cars at the stoplight instead of 4. Yeah.
As far as, you know, from an economic perspective, that's really good for us because we're seeing more workforce. We're seeing we can start to attract companies that have those higher paying wages because we have the workforce to sustain it.
And tech companies, I think a couple years ago, the city was offering some tax incentives. Are they still doing that as far as a non-compete business? I think that was the kind of the groundwork that they had to, you know, have a non-compete clause or something along those lines. Talk about that a little bit.
So there are a few incentives, just state of Colorado wide, that I do want to highlight. So you may be talking about the Rural Jumpstart program.
Yes,
so that is one that is still available.
Okay.
And the threshold for that, you can't be in any direct competition with any local businesses. You have to develop and export a product. But so far, the Grand Junction Economic Partnership has been able to help 27 companies successfully get that incentive. And that one's really lucrative because you basically get a tax holiday. So for 8 years, you really don't need to pay taxes.
I thought it was 6. So it was 8 years.
Yeah, it's 8 years. I think they extended it. And then that's a program that has been really successful Colorado-wide to just help businesses really get a jump start.
Yeah, absolutely.
On getting started in the area and growing and expanding. We had a local company, Spartan Drill Tools. They were our 27th company. And they were based in Fruita, decided to expand into Grand Junction. They had processes in this friction welder that they had purchased that was going to be completely new to the state of Colorado to develop their product for oil and gas industry. And so we were able to get them approved for the Rural Jumpstart program for their expansion because of the technology that they were using in their processes.
So cool. I mean, even the Denver Tech Center, I think some companies are like, hey, we're done with the tech center. Let's get to Grand Junction. There's 68,000 people. Maybe it's 70. Am I right at that number? I'm always telling people there's 68,000 people. I mean, there's over 100 in the Grand Valley, but about 68. Is it 70 now? Is it 69? Or am I pretty close?
You're pretty close. I can't give you an exact number. I don't.
You didn't go count everybody before you came out?
I didn't take a census.
No worries.
Yeah, and as far as business resources in Grand Junction go, so there's the Grand Junction Economic Partnership. We're a resource if you're looking to relocate or expand into the area. So we can help you get connected with commercial brokers, do a real estate search for you. So if there's something really specific that you're looking for, we can help tap into our local network and find something that's going to fit your needs. And then we can also help you get connected with different state and local incentives. So anything that we think you may qualify for, we can hold your hand through that application process. We work really closely with the state of Colorado's Economic Development Office, so that's something that we can really help you on. And then just getting connected with the local business community here.
Sure.
It's so important once you get started to really put down those roots. So from connecting you with a local chamber of commerce to really start to network and get to know your neighbors and things like that, to connecting you with the Workforce Center in Colorado Mesa University to start
That's a great
getting some
program.
hiring resources. We're here to help you every step of the way to make sure that your business is successful.
That's awesome. Yeah, we talk to Sherry down at the chamber all the time. She puts together little packets for us.
Yeah.
We put them in a little goodie bag and give them to clients. So great information there as well. Guys, I mean, as far as the economy, it's definitely robust. And, you know, obviously those main industries that Selena was talking about, you know, reach out to me if you have any questions about a specific industry. I can get with Selena and talk about that. Now, I know, I'm going to say it anyway, I know there's a rumor, Selena can't talk about it, that we might get a Costco. But if you want your 50-gallon jar of mayonnaise, we still have Sam's Club if that doesn't happen, so don't worry, guys. But Selena, thank you so much for coming out and just kind of sharing what's going on with the economy here in Grand Junction. But, you know, again, guys, as much as we love doing these videos, we'd love nothing more than to absolutely crush your real estate goals when heading out this way. So the information popping up below, reach out any way that you know how. Give us a phone call, shoot us a text, send us that email. We always do a carrier pigeon in our videos. Can you do a carrier pigeon wing for me? Do a wing. Send that carrier pigeon. We've got your back days, nights, weekends when heading here to Grand Junction. Until the next video, we'll catch you later.